The Cardinals' batting order is more wide open than it has ever been in history, and let's see what Ollie Marmol had to say about that, plus some potential options to bat leadoff for the Redbirds, and some solutions to the potential bullpen problem that will be happening in 2026. Thank you for tuning in to the St. Louis Cardinals Daily Podcast. My name is Andrew Teuscher, and Ollie Marmol has already been out and open in saying the Cardinals' batting lineup is more wide open than it has ever been in his tutelage and possibly as open as it's ever been in Cardinal history. We just don't have the stalwarts we typically do. Derek Gould had a great coverage of this in an article. I highly suggest you go and read it. Gould had this to say specifically. There are as many as 4, maybe 5 hitters that could fit at leadoff for the Cardinals, and one of at least 2 of them may start the year batting 9th. This quote just shows you how wide open the lineup is in general. We're going to dive into specifically the leadoff spot because I think there's the most intrigue there. As Gould puts out, there's a lot of guys that, depending on how they develop, could be the bottom of the order dude or the guy leading off for the ball club getting the most at-bats in any given game. So something that's definitely worth looking at. And Ollie Marmol added on to what Gould was saying, which to say, quote, "No doubt about it, it's more wide open than ever." So just to point out, it's not even just speculation. The Cardinals front office completely agrees with this. And the only people that we really know are going to be good and in the middle of the Cardinals lineup, barring some sort of catastrophe, are Alec Burleson and Ivan Herrera. Those guys project to hit somewhere between 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the Cardinals lineup. Neither of them have any sort of speed or running ability. I really don't want either of them batting leadoff. So from there, you know they'll be somewhere between 2 and 4, each one of them. But after that, you know, does Jordan Walker develop? Does Victor Scott develop? Does Mason Wynn develop into being a better hitter at least? Does J.J. Weatherholt develop? Nolan Gorman, what's going to happen there? You just don't know what the Cardinals are going to have. Last year, we had guys like Nolan Arenado, and even before that, Paul Goldschmidt, who sat there in the heart of your lineup, and you knew for sure 3-4 is going to be one of those guys. You know the lineup will rotate around them like the planet rotates around the sun. We had everything solidified in some sort of way, and now this year, Burleson and Herrera are kind of that, but there's nobody that's really standing out outside of that. I do think at least one or more guys will develop into being stalwarts in the lineup. I'm not saying everybody in the lineup that'll currently be there is going to be terrible, but we don't know who's going to be good, and neither is Ollie. And it's just going to take some trial and error to figure out what's going to happen. Well, if you ask Fangraphs, the Cardinals' projected top end of the order is going to look like Lars Nootbaar batting leadoff, Ivan Herrera, then Alec Burleson at 3, and then Nolan Gorman batting cleanup. That's definitely an option, and I could see that being a very realistic starting option for the Cardinals on opening day. But Fangraphs took their best guess at where things will go, and they have the projections, but they have no idea what's going to happen by the end of the season. My guess is the opening day lineup is going to look drastically different from whatever it looks like at the end of September, because we know that's where the season's ending. It's not getting to October. So it's for the first time since 2019, we haven't had Goldie or Nato, and the Cardinals lineup is completely tossed up in the air. Let me know what you guys would think would be a good lineup order in the comment section, because now we have to talk about Mars men. Gentlemen, we all know we will get there or are there. At some point, life catches up to you and you need a little bit of help. Mars men helps you access the testosterone, the high T that you already have. You're not missing it most likely. Mars men is looking to help you access what you already got. See, there's this thing called SHBG. It's a gatekeeper for the testosterone that you have. And it's a natural protein. It's supposed to be there. It's not an issue. But Mars Men just simply negotiates with that gatekeeper and says, hey, I need a little bit more energy. I need a little bit more focus to get through my day. Mars Men looks to support healthy T levels, energy, and stamina throughout your day. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you there. That's, again, Mars Men. Moving on to the top of the lineup, because like I said, I think 2-3, 3-4, whatever it is, Alec Burleson, Ivan Herrera makes sense. I kind of like Ivan Herrera hitting 2. If we get the first guy on, Herrera is very likely to hit him over. I like that idea. He puts a lot of balls in play, and hitting a guy higher up means he will have more at-bats. That's why I don't always love the idea of traditionally putting one of your best hitters fourth, because they'll get less at-bats. For instance, they won't even bat in the first inning guaranteed. You want to get as many as possible. So I like Herrera second. I do like Burleson 30. Profiles is a good standard three-hole hitter, but the leadoff spot. What are some potential options? Well, I'll toss 4 out there, and unless I'm not thinking of some, I think these are really the primary 4. You guys let me know if you have more creative options coming up. Number 1 is what Fangraphs projects simply as Lars Nootbaar, and it makes a lot of sense why they project him there. Firstly, he had the most leadoff appearances last year in 2025 with 436 at-bats batting leadoff. He has a 341 career on-base percentage. It feels very Matt Carpenter-esque in that way. The issue is that he's not all that quick anymore. He used to be far faster when he was younger before this heel surgery, and maybe, hopefully, some of that speed and athleticism comes back. He's been quoted saying that his athleticism was zapped because of these heel injuries. He couldn't walk up his stairs. It was a massive issue. Hopefully some of the speed comes back, because right now he's a 39th percentile sprint speed according to Baseball Savant, which isn't terrible. That it's serviceable at batting first. It's not like you're putting Burleson or Herrera, who are far lower, at batting leadoff, but it's certainly not what you want to see. He was pushing well above average before this injuries really started bogging him down, so maybe he'll get back to it, but a guy coming off double heel surgeries, I'm skeptical. So I do like Nootbaar for his on-base percentage skills, but let's see what he can do with the running. Ideally, I think Mason Wynn's your leadoff hitter. And I think more ideally and realistically, because there's another guy who probably is the most ideal, but I think most realistically, Mason Wynn is your leadoff hitter. He does have a career on-base percentage of 304, but as he gets more reps, we're hoping to see that go up, because that was never his strength. He doesn't strike out a ton, but he also doesn't walk a ton. He puts a lot of balls in play, which is why he's sometimes a really good 5-hitter, 6-hitter, because there's already a guy there, or hitting in the 2-hole for that very reason of why I talked about Herrera. He has a little bit of pop, but what makes Wynn great is his 77th percentile sprint speed to go with his bat-to-ball skills that we know he has. He has 87th percentile base running value as well, according to, again, StatCast on Baseball Savant. So not only is he quick, he's also really smart and good at running the base paths. He doesn't run himself into outs, which you would hate to see in the first inning. So a lot of athleticism on the base paths early would be great. Also, Victor Scott, I don't have to talk you into why that'd be a great idea. He is top percentile in sprint speed. We'd love him up there. The issue, 283 on base percentage ain't going to do it. Lastly, potential option, especially at the end of the season, J.J. Weatherholt. He is a 423 on base percentage last year in the minors, which is phenomenal. That will go down, obviously, in the big leagues, but he's known for striking out as much as he walks. He strikes out as much as he walks. It's incredible considering some other guys in the big leagues right now. And he's fairly athletic. He stole 23 bags last season, which isn't phenomenal. He's certainly not known for his speed tool, but he's not a complete bum at the top of the lineup running the bases. So let me know what you guys think of those 4 options, what you prefer. Ideally, most ideally and realistically, I think it's Mason Wynn. 100 percentile outcome for the Cardinals is that it's Victor Scott, and you have a guy who could steal 100 bags at the top of your lineup. We'll see where we get. I'm also fine with Nootbaar or Weatherholt. Also good to note that the Cardinals won't be getting many hints. We won't be getting many hints as Cardinals fans as to who will be hitting leadoff, because spring training, we've already seen that they're traveling our players in cohorts where they'll split the squad and they'll have some of them play outfield. They'll have the outfielders together in one squad and the infielders together in another. So right now they're just shoving guys at the top of the lineup because they want the big leaguers to get the at-bats, and then everyone else kind of gets them afterwards. So don't look too far into spring training for results just yet. Maybe a little later on we'll see it. Speaking of things we love to see, Ultra. Ultra pouches are an excellent solution if you are trying to get a little bit more kick in your life that feels a little more clean. Are you already using a stimulant like Adderall, nicotine, or caffeine? Then you know that these things give you this annoying cortisol spike that just makes your forehead feel like it's going to explode. I hate this every morning. I still drink my coffee. I take my Adderall, but it just makes my head hurt, and Ultra Pouches is looking to solve just that. You get the same kick as the nicotine pouch or as a caffeinated beverage without any of the problems. Help your head stay cleaner while also getting a boost. Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch, delivering instant focus and mental clarity without nicotine or caffeine. New customers can use code FANARCH to get 15% off at takeultra.com. You can see that promo code in the bar below. That's takeultra.com for 15% off using the code below, FANARCH. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them who sent you. And speaking of the guys that we want to send into being in successful situations is one Chris Roycroft for the St. Louis Cardinals. You might not remember the name. He was up in the big leagues last year for a very brief stint before getting sit down due to some incredible issues with his sinker. Chris Roycroft was a guy in 2024 who showed great promise for the Cardinals when he was a little bit younger. Now he's entering his age 29 season, and just out of nowhere in 2025, he lost his sinker. Chris had this to say: the sinker was doing a bunch of different things, Roycroft explained. It turned into a ride runner that started going up more than it started sinking down. So Roycroft was very frustrated with this, so what he did was he spent the offseason at Premier Pitching Performance in Wentzville, local St. Louis area, and he discovered that his arm angle was dropping quite a bit from where it had previously been, as many as 4 degrees of drop. And the dude's 6'8". So when you're 6'8", you can throw a disgusting sinker completely over the top and have an insane bite with some insane extension, and with a little bit of velocity can be an absolutely filthy pitch, which he completely lost. He said that used to be his bread and butter, and all of a sudden he couldn't throw it anymore. And in 2025, the results reflect that. He had a 7.84 ERA through 20 games with a 1.84 whip and a 306 average against. That's compared to 2024, which wasn't top-notch phenomenal, but he had a 4.19 ERA, which is serviceable through 27 games. So we'd like to see Roycroft return to that, start to develop more in the big leagues, because 2024 was his first shot at it. He should have been getting better. For some reason, he lost a pitch and it got worse. And Ali and the team has already come out and said that they like where he's at through live BP sessions in spring. He threw 3 sinkers in Sunday's game as he came in for an inning of relief. 1 was hit for a single, but he threw a scoreless inning after getting a double play, which is exactly why Chris Roycroft should be in the Cardinals bullpen, is to get those double plays, get you out of those hairy situations. And they've already reported that his pitch angle is much, much closer to what it was in 2024 than what it was in 2025. So we'd love to see Roycroft continue to develop, because the Cardinals bullpen has lots of issues, and that extends to our left-handed side. And the Cardinals have a big decision to make regarding a guy specifically named Bryson Motts, who I brought up last podcast because he had a nice debut, a fine debut, I guess I should say, in spring. Didn't allow any runs. But the lefty has been ascending through the Cardinals organization all the way up to being the 17th ranked prospect according to Fangraphs. He doesn't have a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He isn't a highly touted prospect, but he had a very solid season last year. He was the minor league pitcher of the year for the Redbirds. And the lefty is 24 years old, was 8-3 last year with a 2.98 ERA, and had mouth-watering strikeout potential with 134 strikeouts in 114 innings pitched. So where the Cardinals are struggling is, do you have this guy go into the bullpen, or do you let him develop? Do you choose development, or do you fill an immediate need? The easy answer a couple of years ago would have been you fill the need. We're a team competing. We need everybody we can. He'll develop as time goes. Let's get him some big league pitches thrown, and let's see how we can develop him from there. But we're in a very different spot, are the St. Louis Cardinals entering the season. All expectations is that we will miss the playoffs. We're not going to be great. So do you let a guy like Bryson Motts develop, or do you feel the need? Because the Cardinals' lefty options right now are Jojo Romero, who is expected to be traded this offseason, and if not during the season. And then it's Packy Naughton, who's a guy who's a great story, but we certainly have no guarantees from. Nick Raquet, who hasn't pitched in the big leagues yet, and Justin Brule, who we got for basically nothing and hasn't been exceptional in his career to this point. All are solid options, but what will the Cardinals decide to do with Motts? Because in the minor leagues, he was known for destroying lefties even before an ascension. See, Bryson Motts was a guy who soared to through the ranks of the minor leagues and had great success, kind of out of nowhere. His fastball went from being low 90s to touching 97 and consistently above 95. So now we have an elite option, because before he was only a lefty specialist and projected to be in the bullpen, and now all of a sudden he looks like a solid starter option. So do you have him take that Matt's inning-eating, multi-inning role, or do you have him develop more in the minors until he's ready to potentially snag a spot in the rotation? The Cardinals have incredible starting pitching depth. It could be a while till he gets to see the spot. Ollie Marmol had this to say: Because you're evaluating when Heim says not choosing the short term over the long term. You have to consider the upside of where we're heading and the value in that over just the short term fix that may stunt the growth of a player. I don't want to see us stunt anybody's growth, but I do also see that the Cardinals simply need bodies to throw pitches from the left side. I know we're okay with losing. You don't want to be an embarrassment. And you know Ali Marmol and Chaim Bloom don't want to be the guys who let the Cardinals lose 100+ games. They're going to put guys up there. You don't want to lose the clubhouse and stunt development in that way, because young starters are going to start losing their minds if the bullpen starts blowing leads, if they have any sort of success. You want to have some sort of success proven. So where do you do with Motts? Let me know what you guys think. Ali questions if he's ever going to develop into that starting role. He doesn't say, I don't think he will, but he openly says we'll have to see if he can. So spring will tell a lot. Like I said, he had an okay performance thus far. It's going to have to be better than giving up. He gave up 3 base runners in 1 inning of work before being solid in the 2nd inning. So I'm excited to see what Motts can do. But it will tell you a lot about the Cardinals' new priorities if we don't put him on the opening day roster in the bullpen. It'll be interesting to see, because that's exactly what they did with Matthew Liberatore, for instance, in 2024. They were ready to compete. They needed a lefty. They shoved him in there. And I don't think it was great for his development to this point, because we still don't know what he is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about all of the stuff we just talked about. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. We're already at 1K subscribers because you're awesome. I really appreciate what you guys are helping me do here, helping us do here, having a positive Cardinals Daily podcast covering your Redbirds every single day. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. And don't forget to tell a loved one, let's go Birds.